Hi, I'm Joe Hubbard, and welcome to this video tutorial about chord tone recognition. You know, I see a huge problem in this day and age where way too many bass players are playing with a pattern-orientated approach alone. You're always going to run into a brick wall with this way of thinking, and the reason is because you actually need to understand the notes that fall into your fingers that are attached to these patterns. And more importantly than that, you need to understand the context of the harmonic framework that you're dealing with. So, by understanding what chord tone recognition is, will enable you to develop a solid foundation for the music that you're playing, and will allow your lines to resonate with way more harmonic clarity. You know, a common scenario that I often get is where a guy comes for a lesson and he says, "Hey Joe, I've been playing for 10 years and I've been playing by pattern only. I guess I'm doing it all wrong." And what I always say is, well, you're not doing it all wrong, but you're doing it about half right. So with that in mind, let's define why it's chord tones that we want to concentrate and learn first versus scale tones. So why do we want to focus on learning chord tones versus scale tones? Well, the reason for this is because chord tones are the primary notes that you want to resolve your lines to. Scales contain many notes that you can't resolve your lines to, and these are called avoid notes. Now this brings us to a new concept which is called resolution. So what exactly is a resolution? Well, a resolution falls into two categories. One, a note that lasts longer than a quarter note. Two, a note that's followed by a rest that lasts longer than a quarter note. So in a manner of speaking, you could play a huge long line with loads of great musical content, resolve to an incorrect note, and to the listener, everything that you played before the resolution is going to sound wrong. So with that said, once you begin to grasp the idea of resolving all your lines to chord tones, this is going to make you a better improvising bass player. Now hang with me. What exactly is the best learning methodology for chord tone recognition? Well, while practice and repetition are always key essential ingredients for real learning to take place, isolation drills where we can separate each individual note of the chromatic scale and then discover how each note functions as either the root, third, fifth, or seventh of a particular chord type, well, that's going to allow accelerated learning to take place. And that is what's going to enable you to develop a laser-sharp clarity for understanding chord tone recognition. In this video series, I'm going to share with you a valuable drill that I call chord tone Sudoku. This is going to enable you to learn chord tone recognition with a laser-sharp harmonic clarity. Okay, so what is chord tone Sudoku? Well, it's the process of understanding your chord tones, not just from the root, but also from the third, the fifth, and the seventh, independently for all the 11 fundamental chord types that we have. So what I need you to do right now is get over to my website, www.joehubbardbass.com, and download the chord tone Sudoku worksheets that are available on my website. You'll see when you print these off that each sheet is comprised of 12 different boxes. Those boxes represent the 12 chromatic notes that we have in the chromatic scale. Okay, each box then will contain 4 different chords, and then you'll be given like a single note. So let's say C, and then you'll be given a corresponding chord type. It could be a minor 7th chord. And what you'll have to do is figure out how that note C functions as the root, the third, the fifth, and the 7th for the minor 7th chord. Okay, so those are really good. You can print those out. You can do a lot of repetition with writing out. Very good mental exercise in understanding what the chord tones are. But the thing is, we got to learn to play it as well. Can't just learn it mentally. You got to learn to play it. This is why we're doing this. So that's what's going on in part 2. So with that in mind, grab your bass and let's get started.